Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. Honestly, go ahead and grab an iced coffee, maybe get cozy, because today we're channeling total big sister energy. Seriously, we're diving into what is basically a masterclass on navigating the absolute roller coaster that is your 20s. Think of this as your definitive holistic glow-up guide to surviving and, actually thriving in this completely defining decade. Okay, let's just jump right into the whole shebang. So, I need you to be totally honest with me right now. Are you experiencing a quarter-life crisis? Seriously, if you just felt a knot in your stomach or let out a huge sigh, I really want to start by validating exactly how you're feeling. That overwhelming, confusing anxiety you're carrying around, it is incredibly common. And more importantly, it is 100% real. All right, so that brings us to Chapter 1, the quarter-life reality check. The struggles of early adulthood are completely valid, and figuring out why you feel the way you do, that's the very first step to conquering it. According to Dr. Cross Hillman over at Sanford Health, women in their 20s just face this massive cluster of psychological triggers and life changes pretty much all at once. Like you're leaving home for the first time, you're trying to figure out money, and you're navigating who you even are outside of your hometown, all while dealing with these shifting peer groups. Independence is amazing, for sure, but the heavy weight of actually juggling coursework, a full-time job, and adult relationships, it's undeniably stressful. If you're feeling anxious, it's literally because you're going through a massive, super demanding adjustment period. Let's move on to Chapter 2, Knowing Your Authentic Self. Now, navigating all that stress, it has to start from within. Specifically, making the internal shifts we need to actually know and honor our authentic selves. YouTuber TJ Ivajika dishes out some serious tough love here. She says the very first thing you need to learn as a young woman is how to take accountability. That victim mentality, yeah, we're leaving that at the door. Taking accountability for your choices, your reactions, your entire life's trajectory, that is the ultimate power move. It means realizing that your free will dictates your future. And a huge part of that is learning to stop over-explaining yourself to people who are just determined to misunderstand you. Sometimes, silence is actually the most accountable answer you can give. Building right on that, TJ hits us with another hard truth, and I quote, "If you're okay with being mediocre, then you're okay with having a mediocre life." Wow. I mean, it is just that simple. Your standards absolutely dictate the quality of your life. This means you literally have to stop seeking external validation. If you do something you're proud of, your own validation should be totally enough. You gotta set high personal standards for your friendships, your career, your romantic relationships, and just flat out refuse to accept anything less. So as you're building this high standard, highly authentic self, it's pretty crucial to understand how you function on a psychological level. There's this concept from Dr. Jean Baker Miller called being in relation, and it basically explains that unlike the traditional, highly individualized male hustle culture we see everywhere, a woman's sense of identity actually develops and thrives through increasingly complex, authentic relationships. It's like a giant puzzle. We're quite literally wired to grow through deep connections, not in total isolation. Which perfectly segues into Chapter 3, Friendships and Female Mentors. Okay, so during your 20s, you'll probably notice your social circle shrinking. And guess what? That's actually a good thing. It shrinks, but it deepens. Mental health activist Mira Varma points out that maintaining friendships in your 20s requires deliberate effort. You really have to prioritize communication, even if it's just a super quick, "Hey, thinking of you" text. You also have to maintain equal effort because, let's be real, people make time for what they want. You need to plan meaningful in-person hangouts so you have something to look forward to, and maybe most importantly, you gotta be understanding and flexible. Life gets chaotic. If a friend goes quiet, it doesn't mean they don't care. Keeping that communication clear just prevents all those nasty feelings of neglect. But it's not just about peer friendships. It's also about looking up. Having an older female mentor at work is honestly basically a cheat code for career growth. Female mentorship programs are vital because they build your confidence. They expand professional networks that might otherwise be totally male-dominated. And they provide these crucial, battle-tested strategies. I'm talking strategies for navigating tricky workplace politics, overcoming subtle bias, and successfully negotiating your salary. A good mentor is a real game changer. All right, on to Chapter 4, Mastering Your Money Moves. Okay, time to shift gears to the practical, material world and spill the financial tea that every single woman in her 20s absolutely needs to hear. We are constantly fed this super romanticized idea of how to build a career, but we really need to look at this pragmatically. It's the whole following your talent versus following your passion debate. In your 20s, your main goal is establishing financial security. While passions are amazing, trying to monetize your art, music, or writing right out of the gate, it can be incredibly challenging, and honestly, it often leads straight to burnout. So instead, you should follow your talent. Work to be in the top 10% of that specific field. You shouldn't just follow your passion blindly without a solid plan. Well, actually, unless you happen to be Jay-Z, maybe. But for the rest of us, passion is a wonderful way of living. It's a hobby, it's a lifestyle. But talent is what pays the rent and builds your financial foundation. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is what you actually do with that foundation once you've built it. When it comes to the sheer magic of compound interest, time is a 20-something's absolute greatest asset. The line for compound interest just skyrockets compared to simple interest, but only if you give it time to work. Every single small financial step you take compounds. Investing early, setting up a Roth IRA, automating your savings, these aren't just nice-to-have things. They are completely non-negotiable if you want the freedom to live your absolute best life in your 30s. Next up, Chapter 5, Pivoting and Setting Standards. So what happens if you start down a path and suddenly realize, oh no, this is all wrong? Well, I'm here to assure you that it is totally, completely okay to change your mind. This is what we call the art of the pivot. Your 20s are exactly when you're supposed to make mistakes and try new things. Step 1 is simply recognizing when you feel unfulfilled. Step 2 is learning to gracefully cut your losses, whether that's a toxic job, a bad relationship, or a creative project that just isn't working, and physically withdrawing your access and energy from those negative spaces. And step 3, redirecting that energy to lean into new skills and side hustles. You don't have to be stuck as one version of yourself forever. No way. And finally, Chapter 6, Building your growth toolkit. Once you've figured out how to pivot, you basically enter the maintenance phase. Remember that compounding interest chart from a minute ago? Now I want you to apply that exact same logic to yourself. Getting just 1% better every single day equals massive exponential personal growth after just 1 year. We're talking tiny, consistent daily habits here. A mindful morning routine, tracking your spending, taking 5 minutes to regulate your emotions. These things create a completely transformed version of you over time. It's wild how well it works. And to help you get that 1% better, you really need the right influences around you. So here is your ultimate starter pack, like a curated description box of amazing female self-growth creators. If you need a holistic lifestyle reset, definitely check out Lavender. If you're seeking some introvert empowerment, Lana Blakely is your girl. For slow living and Hawaiian-inspired mindfulness, Malama Life is absolutely incredible. And for intentional, slow productivity, Mushelb will completely change how you organize your days. Seriously, surrounding yourself with this kind of positive energy online is a huge part of your daily growth toolkit. Well, we've covered a ton of ground in today's explainer, from managing that quarter-life crisis to getting your money right, building deep friendships, and learning how to pivot. But I want to leave you with the absolute most important takeaway from all of this. You have to be as kind to yourself as you are to others. You only get one mind and one body. You must pour into yourself first. So my final question to you is this. When you wake up tomorrow morning and look in the mirror, how are you going to talk to yourself? I challenge you to make it a conversation that empowers you to take on the world. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep thriving.